Francis Mwangangi. He's the Deputy Governor of Machakos County. Boradiji, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Kenya's biggest conversation.
Thank you.
That is called the hot seat of the Situation Room.
And I'm happy to sit on it.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Thank
I told you I'm a voter in Machakos, resident of Machakos. Machakos tunaijua vizuri sana. And we want to know how our money is being spent.
Yes.
Karibu. City was going to be present, but he has stepped out for a meeting. However, he has left out of the program. Every week, City Mulga goes to one African country, and then he picks proverbs from that country and brings a proverb a day from that country. Last couple of weeks, he was looking at the island nations in Africa. This week, he has said, and for the next couple of days or weeks, he's going to be looking at the landlocked countries in Africa. You set the trap when the rat had bolted. No.
You even put bolted.
Yeah, it was left.
When the rat has passed.
Yes. You set the trap when the rat has passed. You set the trap when the rat has passed.
Meaning you will not achieve your mission. Yes. Because if it has passed, it means unless it comes back.
You've lost.
Imeenda. What do you think the lesson here is from this proverb?
Quite a number. One, it is good to be strategic. Two, it is also good to plan. And not only planning, but execute those plans. Yes. And in the right manner.
Good. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
Actually, I didn't tell you where the proverb is from. It's from Burundi.
Oh, Burundi.
Yes. A landlocked country.
Yes.
Higher.
Okay.
So, Bonadiji, a lot's happening across the country.
And is Burundi landlocked?
Yes. So just checking it here, landlocked is a nation that has no direct access to the sea.
Or ocean.
No direct access.
No
to the sea.
direct access. Burundi doesn't have.
Okay. Because I was thinking of Lake Tanganyika.
No, that's you see now that's
No, that's not an ocean.
that's
No,
just
it's
a
not.
lake.
Okay.
It's a landlocked lake.
Okay.
What a lot's happening in the country right now, in terms of more wokeness. Citizens are up. They're demanding better governance from those in leadership, demanding accountability from those in offices of power. From where you see it, what do you see the citizens saying?
It's only that we have somehow irresponsible leadership. Because we are just being reminded of us what is expected of us, what we sought office to do. It is as simple as that. Why would you be reminded to wake up and come here to host this show, and it is your responsibility? You signed for it. You committed to come and host it. So I think Professor Nyang'nyongo repeats that maybe society begets leaders who are like that society. So I think we have another generation here who are saying, look, we need to do things differently. You need to stick to what is supposed to be done. That is my interpretation. Why are young people going to streets? Why did the Azimio coalition go to streets? Because maybe Mwangangi committed to do 1, 2, 3, or the constitution is being violated, or there is that which I'm supposed to do and I'm not doing. So I have to be reminded. And sometimes when you are reminded and you are not adhering to it, then Kenyans have that option, and they can as well go as far as also getting someone else who can do the job. So I think that is basically what is happening.
Still,
now. I've just come from a school in Israel, and I wish one day Kenyans can be airlifted to Israel for 24 hours, then back here. Most of us will never speak in public, because that's basically a stone. They compare it to Kenya. The soil that is doing agriculture in Israel, some of it came from this country. It's unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
The state of affairs in this country.
Who said, let me ask, who said you have to be a deputy governor to be a billionaire, a millionaire? Who said you must be the president for you to have a shortcut to richest in the world, if not in the continent? That is what ails us. Greedy, period.
Do you think that those in leadership knew this when they were getting to office? That, did they expect that, the public would expect something of them? What I'm asking basically is, are you leaders shocked that we are asking what we are asking?
Personally, I'm not. Because at the same time, I interact with these youths on a daily basis. I also lecture in one of the public universities as part of my attainment of what I'm doing in that university. But I will tell you for free, if I get out of this studio and maybe those who voted for me see me entering into a public means of transport, I think they will, many of them will think I'm insane. Because I'm in a public office.
They'll mock you.
Yes.
How can a deputy governor enter a matatu?
Yes. Because that is not what they expect of me. Yes, you go in, amass as much as you can, bring a little bit to them, then you get elected and you move on. But I think as these youths get into the streets, I think the next election will not be a manufactured election, but a lot more than that.
Bonatici, I hear you saying that there's an, agreement, whether expressed or otherwise, that the current crop of leadership in the country has actually failed Kenyans. Is that true?
The answer is true. Absolutely, very true. Why did they go to street in the first place? Because somebody did not listen to them. And if they listened, they did not put it into law as it was supposed to be done. There is no need of saying there was public participation, and you don't take on board the views of Kenyans, the views of experts. I'm referring to finance bill. You go out, you do public participation, but the coalition is called aside. Go and pass this. In disregard of what Kenyans are saying. It is like in counties, for example, if it is the case of a governor and at national level, in the case of president and all those who are assisting him to run the country, it's like they are the law into themselves. That is not the case. That is not the spirit of our constitution. We need to listen to the people we lead. Did I not hear it is only shoe wearer who knows where it pitches most? So Kenyans know where the pinch is. We need to listen to them.
Did we have to wait for a certain number of Kenyans, for example, to open their mouths and say, we're not happy with this, for the current leadership to actually admit that actually there's a problem here? It seems as though everybody's speaking and saying, actually, yes, we're not doing the right thing. We've been, misbehaving with the leadership and governance, only because there was this loud clamoring that came from so many Kenyans at the same time. It seems a bit disingenuous that perhaps there should have been something that was said. There should have been that alarm bell going off saying, hold on, guys. We as the leaders are not actually doing what we ought to do. Can we reroute? But it seemed as though everybody was shouting and said, you guys, something is going wrong. That's when everybody has now joined and said, actually, yes, it's true. shouldn't there have been a previous, alarm and say, you know what, actually, guys, we need to reroute this train?
It all boils down to, if I ask myself, why do I think I'm in a position where I am? And part of it, you cannot lead us if you don't know what we want. If we don't understand you, if you don't understand us. So in this country, we have a very bad-mannered culture. And that culture is that of adult care. You do all manner of things to ensure you get elected. Once you get there, you decide to do what you want. You tend to think you can think on behalf of the population that you lead. I think that is the message that is coming from the latest demonstrations and urge that we do things differently. I think there has to be a change of heart, of attitude, of how we perceive the reason why we need to be and why we are in leadership. Because even look the current composition of the inclusive newly appointed cabinet. Where is the youth? Where are the youths who have been agitated, who have been killed, who have been massacred? Where are they in that? We are getting retirees and which new ideas are they going to bring on board? Okay?
Same
so,
thing.
And when you look at it, it is a strategy to kill the opposition. This is a strategy. Don't tell me these are the best minds we have around.
How does that kill the opposition?
It is true in our constitution. You can have a post or pre-coalition arrangement. But when you, as a government, you campaign and you get elected through your coalition, then you start raiding on the other, ideally the opposition, to get leaders from there. What are you doing? You are killing the unity on the other side, where Kenyans, opposition and minority and the majority are there so that they can compete in ideas. You bring this idea, I challenge it with another one. You steal, I unearth. I tell the Kenyans that here Mwangangi is a thief. He has stolen 1, 2, 3. He has amassed within 1 year. You have grabbed land where all over across Kenya, and I table the documents to that extent. But is what is going to happen? The answer is no. Why? Because the leaders of the other coalition are being
Co-opted
into the government. The people who ideally were critical of some of these policies now are the ones to implement those policies. So majority of Kenyans are on their own.
So this is not a response to what the agitation has been?
Nobody, including when as Azimio we were on the streets, nobody asked for a government of national unity. That is a creation of political class in this country. Nobody.
What would you have done if you were the president? You are now a politician.
You do the right thing.
Which is?
The right thing is include majority of Kenyans in the policies that you are doing. By the way, we can have a president and we have maybe the husband as the deputy president, and you run a country smoothly without these noises. We were not doing the right thing. We were not doing the right thing. And even now, we are still not doing the right thing.
What's the right thing? I think we say that often. What's the right thing across board?
The right thing is you fully implement devolution in Kenya. The right thing is to ensure the views of the majority of Kenyans are incorporated in policies running this country. Doing the right thing is to implement the constitution fully, ensure the institutions that are supposed to be independent are truly independent in all ways, in decision making, in policy making, and even in budgetary allocation. Let them be independent. That is not what we are seeing. Like, for example, even before the former IG left the office, you could see clearly within the National Police Service, there was another informal, powerful command that was directing what to be done in this country. So in this case, that in essence is another way of state capture. You capture state bodies for your private gain. And this will come once this administration is out, or sooner or later, it will come out.
So things will start. What is happening now?
What is happening in Iden? One day, one time, it will come out.
The same way what was happening in the previous administration came out.
Yes.
Once it left office.
Yes. And then a time will come when a governor will hand over at the stadium, or a president will hand over at the stadium, and instead of going to your house, you are shown a door to committee. So that Kenyans can recover what is ideally theirs. That day is coming so soon, because we are busy mismanaging this country, looting this country, and Kenyans are seeing.
But DG, is this your first time in elective politics?
No.
You've been in elective politics before.
National Assembly.
Right?
Yes.
You've been there.
Yes.
You've served at the national level. You've served now in county level.
Yes.
Are you surprised by how the people are reacting to leaders?
No. Even in Parliament, I knew it was a matter of time, and Kenyans will demand what their leaders are supposed to do, and they are not doing. It was a matter of time.
Okay.
Why is that? Part of the state building, and with all due respect, I think we have so many highly educated elected leaders from both counties and at national level. If you remember, our president is a PhD holder. But that does not make him or her an expert in state building. I think there is something we miss in leadership. When President Kibaki came in 2002, he embarked on reconstructing this country. Part of that reconstruction was the establishment, enhancement, and increment in terms of quality of education in this country. That means we have more informed population than it was a long time ago. There are so many changes that have come, because I'm sure globally this show is being watched by anybody on earth who wants to watch it live as it happens. That was not there before. So it is a matter of time. Today, you hear leaders say, I cannot resign. You commit on a crime, but you hold on this public office. It is a matter of time. Eric, we will sit here, God willing, in less than 5 years from now. And anybody who commits some of these silly crimes, whether petty or not, I assure you, you'll be shown the door by the public.
But
for now, because the question was whether I'm surprised or not, I'm not surprised. It was a matter of time. It was going to happen. Yes.
Do you think politicians are surprised?
Many don't understand. So they must blame it on either somebody or what, without knowing change has come.
Don't
to
understand
Kenya.
what?
To them, they think this is a problem. Do not understand what is expected of them. Yes.
This is a bit worrisome, DG, if you say that. That there are leaders in the country today who, by appointment or election, are sitting in these positions and do not understand what they're supposed to be doing. I don't think it's just scary. I think it is maddeningly frightening that there are people who sit in these positions every day, dispensing authority, dispensing duty, earning a salary on Kenyans' backs, and don't understand what they're supposed to be doing. Did I hear you right?
Understanding of what they are supposed to be doing is on two ways. One is what their boss expects of them. Two is what the Constitution and people of Kenya expects of the order of that particular office. They could be the most darling when it comes to their bosses because they are doing what the boss wants. That boss could be a minister, that boss could be a governor, that boss could be a deputy governor, that boss could be an MCA, could be a member of parliament. Okay? But you are fulfilling the interest of a particular person as opposed to what the country and the Constitution expects of you as the order of that particular office. That is the difference.
Okay. And why don't they understand the expectations of their office?
One, it could be because of our culture. Two, it could be the appointing authority. You know, in some areas, you hear people say, hi. I have appointed you. I have given you this position. So if that is repeated to you, it means you are going there to do and advance the interests of the appointing authority most of the time. But even as I dictate to you, I did to you, you need also to look at what is expected of this particular office. What does the Constitution demand of me? And am I doing it? Even as you, but many of us don't. We become cheerleaders and out to please the appointing authorities. Yeah. That's why up to today, I'm not sure we have the right number of the people who are abducted forcibly, people who are massacred during these demonstrations. And compare this with a country like Israel, a country that is at war at the moment. For months now, they have been demanding of the resignation of their topmost political leader, that is the Prime Minister Netanyahu. How many have been killed? How many have been abducted? Well, that time soon is coming to Kenya. And we will be held to account. You can kill the late Archbishop Denge Mwangangi. Remember, is among the spiritual leaders who pushed for the change of the political nature in this country. When he was being transferred from Nakuru as a bishop to Nairobi as an archbishop, upon reaching Nairobi, he said, you have come here and this is the center of demonstration. What are you going to do? And he responded, and do you not see, I think a journalist asked him, do you not see a threat to your life? And he laughed and said, it's okay, they can kill Denge, but many other Dengues will emerge in hundreds. The lives of these youths, their blood has gone to the ground. Millions are coming. It's a matter of time.
Have they come to the counties yet?
In some, they have come. Others, they are still coming. And those they have not reached, I'm sure they are on the way. Let them demand accountability. There's no problem. If you are doing the right thing, why should you get worried? If you know you are compliant to the constitution of this country, why would you get worried? Let them come. Ask them, let them demand. How did you get this phone? Where? From which money? If you can justify that, where is the problem? There's no problem.
But you see, the DG, the culture that we are seeing in politics, for example, at national level, there has been a very deliberate attempt at branding this thing as it's sponsored. There must be owners. There must be people who are using this movement to try and get to their own political ends. The same thing could come to the counties when it comes. For example, if demonstrations started today in Machakos and they're saying, what we want is just to know how our money is being spent in Machakos. We want to see the level of services at our public health facilities, in our ECDs, in all aspects of our county government. This thing could turn political.
Yes,
you and the governor will start now saying, so who is this who's sponsoring? Who wants this seat in 2027?
No. Let me put it this way. When our youths went to the streets to demonstrate and to demand certain issues, at first, the first day it was very peaceful. There is something we call in international relations protecting the realm. Now, somebody has to protect the government. And I can say this because in Machakos we have arrested people who do not come from the county, yet they have come to demonstrate. They have come to block the roads. They have come to even ban businesses. We have their details. We have arrested them. The citizens have arrested them, given them to the security agencies. But what happens? They are quietly released. Or the DPP refuses to even charge them. What does that one tell you? Somebody in high echelons of the government is fully controlling what is happening. So what is peaceful, and this is common in developing countries. Once a government is in place, there are those associated with the same government who feel they can protect it under whatever means and costs. And this is not different from what is happening in this country. So these people we arrested, and even security agencies were reluctant to deal with the issue. So sometimes what is peaceful, what is legal, it is turned otherwise by bringing criminals into it so that you can make it look bad in the eyes of the public. These demonstrations are bad because whenever you call them, they ban, they block the roads, they harm people, those kind of things. So I think if it happens in Machakos, for example, and it has happened, there were demonstrations in Machakos, businesses were banned. First and foremost, I've seen some people trying to also take that opportunity and mobilize on their own so that they can depict the current leadership as bad. But you know, people know. Eric, let me tell you something. In counties, there's a law that we passed at national level, and also our constitution. It demands of public engagement, public input, public participation in anything that you do. And in Machakos, what I can urge is our young population, because I've accompanied the governor in all the 40 wards. Majority of our youths don't engage through public participation. These public participations are called and announced nationally and even regionally through the regional media. But when you go to attend them, you find it is only women, few men, and our youths don't turn up to give their views on what they want to be done. Yet, before anything is done, once you know your budget, your money for the next financial year is this much, you are supposed to go to the public, getting views. And once, but before that, I go to the first day when we go to the office. The Constitution demands that governor goes around. It is not a must herself as a person, but in this case, she goes a person. She never sends anybody in this. She goes to each of the 40 wards in Machakos County, receiving written views, even verbally, from the people. That this is what we want in water, we want 1, 2, 3. Roads, we want 1, 2, 3. Then she goes sat with the executive and makes a document that is taken to the county assembly. Okay? Through that process, and if that is implemented as we have been doing in Machakos, definitely you will have less demands, less noises from the population, because what they asked for is what is being done.
So you're saying that even if people are not showing up for public participation, have a very few number of people who come, that there's a way to go about it whereby you're actually going and you're taking yourself to the people and saying, tell me about what it is that you want to be done. One doesn't necessarily replace the other, but you may end up getting the same kind of results. Is that what you're saying?
There is partly yes and partly no.
Okay.
Because this public participation, in when you agree it starts this particular day, there is almost a month before people prepare. People are supposed to meet at their villages and say, in this particular village, we are lacking 1, 2, 3, and they put it in writing, being guided by state officials, by public officials, employees of the county, and sometimes even the national government officers at the grassroots level. Now, when the governor comes around, that is the list that is presented. I'm seeing some cases, whenever that list is presented, she picks a mic and asks, truly, in this particular ward, with the people coming from all the villages, is this what you agreed? Sometimes it is changed because people demand of either inclusion of something that was left out or not. So when she goes back with all those views, she goes and prepares an annual development plan, which is allocated funds to go and implement those projects. With that, because there is people engagement, they were part of it. It is likely to have very little complaints or resistance when it comes to implementation. And that is what we have done in Machakos.
DG, the County Government Act mentions that when you're engaging with the public, you think of all ways, including new media and digital means of engaging the public. Now, maybe that's the missing link here, because not many counties actually do any online or digital public participation. Still expect that people are going to come, sit at a meeting and engage. And when people are sitting at a meeting and engaging, then there will be those fractions. And we see them. We see those kind of frictions actually that take place. Sisi ni watu wa Wiper ndio tulishinda, nyinyi watu ya nini mlishindwa kwa yani kando. Hawa wametumwa na so and so. And we see that happening. Has Machakos embraced online as a means of public participation? It's a requirement of the law.
It is, and the answer is yes, because we have a full-fledged department headed by a chief officer, which aids in that process. And I will also tell you something, Eric. If we implemented the law, and I'm saying this now as somebody who has been national government and now in counties, and I'm a researcher in devolution. I lecture a lot about devolution. I'll make a general comment that even after the governor's done all that, and not necessarily Machakos, the county governor, all the governors, that is what the law demands of them.
Yeah.
You after you have prepared this document, you submit it to the county assembly. It is interrogated, and they also carry out another public participation to confirm. So the issue of digitizing that process in Machakos, the answer is yes, affirmatively. And then I think what remains is to urge our young population to kindly, whenever these forums are announced, please turn up, because once this process has been concluded, it is almost impossible to include something else midway.
It is setting the trap
And that
once the rat has passed.
Yes. That's where I was coming. It is like you are trying to catch the rat once already it has passed. So I think it is good we come up and discuss that which helps us and present it during public
I see mischief though here. And here's how I put it. You have run for elective office, okay? I am sure your main mobilizers for all your meetings were youth and women. You, even when you were running for office of governor, I am sure your main mobilizers, in every ward you had women and youth leaders. And you knew that these are the people I'm going to use to get my people to come to a meeting, to get my people to engage with. True? But now, when it comes to governance, the youth are the ones who are not turning up in these meetings. That means that you are not engaging the networks that you have.
You are right, but I'll tell you for free. Eric and Udo have been in both theory and practice when it comes to politics of this country. Even in these public participations, these forums, unless there is something, you might not get the crowd that you want.
Facilitation. Unless you facilitate people.
If even the men and women we are referring to, there must be that motivating factor for them to come. And it explains why if a governor calls a meeting and a county commissioner calls another meeting, most likely that of the county commissioner might be empty, because there is no that motivation factor, that facilitation fee.
So that's the reality of our politics.
That is the truth of our politics. And it is the enemy of our development. It is the enemy of our transformation as a country. I can tell you.
Where does it come from? That people who would come and listen to what a current leader or would-be leader would say are demanding that something has to be given to me in order for me to hear what it is or to offer my support. Where did that come from? Who started it? Was there a demand or was there an offering first? Because if you're saying that is the reality of the politics, across board, then there's a problem.
It was a Standard Media that reported Manenberg somewhere in Western Kenya. It was this media that told the world about listening allowance. It's not me, it's not Eric, it's not Udu. So the
Do you think the public?
Let me answer. That question is very important. First and foremost, it has everything to do with our culture. Where are we coming from? How did this country start, progress? Where are we and where do we want to go? So, during the single party leadership, then there was a way things were being done. Come the end of that period, and President Mike Kibaki's administration, and then there's a story that some people from Kibaki's village went to greet him at the State House, and they were given him kwasi and tea, and that was all. They left there so much angry, because that is not what they were used to.
That's not what they were going for.
Yes. People, that culture of, and it is not easy. But what I'm telling my fellow Kenyans is that is the source of our undoing. That is the source of the current mess we have in this country. So I think that is the origin, continuation of a culture that has been there. And we have also leaders who are then in that system, who are still with us today, and who are resistors of change.
That's how they know their politics.
Yes, and remember, even in the last election, how money was being thrown left, right, in disregard of the law on financing of the election. So that is where we are. That's why I gave that example. In case today I exit Machakos as a deputy governor, and the following day people see me in stench waiting for public means of transport, will think I'm not normal.
Mwangangi amewest miaka 5.
Yeah.
Hata kagari.
Yes. Yeah? You see, so it's a challenge. It's a challenge. We need massive civic education to maybe let our people know it's not in handouts where we will transform this country. Okay?
We hear you. Deputy Governor, thank you very much for joining us today.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.